Well, what I'm doing today is I'm planting celery. Now today is the last day of January, January 31st, and it's kind of cold outside, but we got a real sunny day today, so it's kind of warm in here. I think it's maybe 60, 70 degrees. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant these in a floating raft. Now I've done this before, and you may remember, I don't know, last year sometime, I did a video where a friend of mine, Chad, came over and we harvested celery and lettuce, and I had a lot of celery. And I have come to believe, and the reason I use the word believe is because when you see how this stuff grows, it's incredible. But anyway, celery really grows well in an aquaponic environment. And as a matter of fact, it's gotten so good in here that it's almost like weeds. Let me just show you real quick. Let me grab the camera and I'll show you just stray celery growing all over the place. See, if you look down here, all these plants along this pipe, that's all celery. And those are all plants that took themselves. There's another celery plant down there. And you can see smaller ones that are coming up right there. And then along here, here's another batch of celery. So in here, celery is almost like a weed. And it's a nice weed. We really like it. But yeah, it grows everywhere. So celery likes this environment. See, look at that. We even got some celery growing underneath the table here. It just grows everywhere. It's out of control. And celery is also a plant that tolerates cold quite nicely. I've grown celery over the winter, and the first winter that I had this greenhouse set up, and I didn't have the water flowing around yet, I had celery growing right here in this grow bed. And this was full of water, but again, it was not circulating. And so what happened was, January, maybe or sooner than that, this froze solid. This was a solid block of ice with celery sitting on top in one of these floating rafts. And they survived the winter that way, which is kind of astonishing. But anyway, what I'm going to do here is this. So here's another one of these floating rafts that I just drilled holes in and so forth. And I'm going to cut up a bunch of these all these celery plants that I found. Let me show you some. See, here's a bunch of them. Now I've separated some of these. Now what you got to do is make sure that you can see here, this is a pretty bad looking celery plant, but see it has some roots there. So it's got roots and it's got leaves, and usually if you just stick those in the water, they will recover and they'll do nicely. So that's what we're going to do. And I've already done one here. I've taken this off of a larger celery plant, see, and I'm kind of wondering if that's going to work, but it should. So you put that in the net cup, and you put it in here in the floating raft, and that's how you do it. See, like here's another one. Let's see. Where are my? There they are. Couldn't find my net cup for a minute. So you see, here we go with the net cup. Now we don't need all these roots. I mean these leaves. So what we're going to do is kind of cut them off. See, like that. And I'll throw those in the compost bin in a minute. But you see, here we got some leaves, a few, and then we got the roots. And so you just put that in the net cup, and you put it in here. Okay, now I've got two of these in there now, and I've got room for, I didn't even count these. 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 21. I can put 21 in here. And that'll keep us in celery for a long time. Okay, I'm going to go cut that. I'm going to cut up the rest of these and fill this up, and we'll let them grow. Well, okay, there we are. 21 of them in the little raft here. And let me take the camera here and I'll show you. Okay, there we are. Now they look pretty sick. I mean, see, you'll pull that out. See, they all look pretty sick, like, oh my gosh, you've just killed a whole bunch of celeries. But you'll see in about a week, like this one has leaves already, but you'll see some of these here that have nothing. They'll start propping up leaves. And I would think within a month, even as cold as it is out here, we'll probably be able to pull off some young celery stalks, and we like them better that way because they're not stringy or anything. Anyway, there it is. It's done, and we're ready to go.